Good morning, race fans. It is September 2nd, 2023. This is the Race 62 YouTube channel, and it's our watch-along live timing commentary for the Italian Grand Prix Free Practice 3. This is Crash once again with you this morning. It is a lovely 5:18 a.m. We've got about 12 minutes to go before we go green lights on Monza. So, weather. Gonna be beautiful. We're not gonna have to worry about rain or anything else. What now? Yesterday, basically FP1, we had Lawson in. Not Lawson. We had Dragovic in for Stroll in FP1. That's the rookie driver requirement. The only other was Alfa Romeo was basically having horrible time with their cars, and that was pretty much for FP1. No red flags, so my counter was reset. But in FP2, 4 minutes in, Stroll basically had an issue with his car and brought out the red flag. What's interesting with Stroll is that he didn't get out of his car when he was told to, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, he had a fit. We saw a lot of running. So in first practice, we saw a lot of teams do long running with hards. We saw a lot of teams do in FP2 long running on mediums. We're going to probably see them do a long run on the softs days where I'm predicting, given like the Red Bulls, the Ferraris, they were all doing similar programs on similar tires. So the one thing about FP2, the other thing at the end of FP2, 9 minutes ago, Checo basically went wide at the Parabolica. Went off track, went into the gravel, went way into the gravel, spun around, then managed to hit the back of his wing, back of the car against the barrier. And he was okay. The problem is that he was pointed directly forward out towards the gravel again. So he went out, he started moving forward and then got stuck in the gravel as he was trying to get back onto track. Can't make that up. It's like, yeah, go figure. So yeah, ultimately with again, it brought out the red flag. That was the end of the session for Checo, and then we had like 4 minutes of people just trying to do things, being on track, so they could do a practice start at the end of the session. So again, we've got about 9.5 minutes to go. Livery this weekend is going to be interesting. Ferrari has a red and yellow livery, and this was in honor of because basically at the 24 hours of Le Mans, Ferrari came back to endurance racing this year, and Le Mans was basically their coming out party, and they won the 100th anniversary of Le Mans in spectacular fashion. So basically the F1 team is basically has a livery that is similar to what was on that sports car at Le Mans. So that's what's going on there. Alfa Romeo, this is the last year that Alfa Romeo is sponsoring the Sauber team. The team we know as Alfa Romeo next year will be back under the Sauber name. So this is the Sauber team paying homage to their sponsor in their last year before they split up. The Alfa Romeo name is going to be attached to Haas next year. It's going to be this amalgamation of Alfa Romeo, MoneyGram, Haas F1 team. Though having said that, it's still better than the Hugo Boss Bull that's potentially coming to the AlphaTauri team rename soon. So we'll see how that goes. If you haven't liked the channel, haven't given a subscription, haven't liked, now's a great time to do it. We've got about 620 of you watching right now. We've got 137 likes. We can get definitely those likes up. It helps up with the YouTube algorithm. If you've not subscribed, now's a great time. Join us. We've got over 100,000 100,236 right now, to be exact. Growing community, great community. Been with it, since the channel basically started about 2 years ago. we're coming up on the channel's two-year mark as it stands right now. So 100K in 2 years that's a big accomplishment. And then finally, that if you want to support the channel even further, you can also join the channel. So if you see people with stars next to their name, they've actually joined the channel. I have one by my name as well. I'm like a few days from the 2-year badge, but quite honest. But that's what the different color stars means, is how long they've been with the channel in that capacity. They may have been here longer, but they've been subscribed to joined the channel, subscribe, paying to the channel for that long. And it's been worth, I'll be honest with you, it's been worth like the few bucks I toss every year to the channel. We also have a merch store, and again, one of the benefits of being part of the channel is that you get a whole slew of emojis. I'm typing them out right now. There you go. Those of you who are in chat right now, you can see those. My favorite, obviously, is the box one, and I actually have that on a mug, and you can get that in our merch store if you look in descriptions. Yeah, pretty much. You can get stickers. You can get things on mugs. Cool. I mean, I love the mug that I have. I got it for Christmas last year. Yeah, moving on. People are, again, a bunch of you are following my steps and throwing all those emojis in the chat right now. That's kind of cool. So they're there. Those are the benefit. These are only available to those who have joined the channel. So glad to see them being used. See, Yax is a Hamilton fan. Yeah, looking through. If you want to ask a question in chat and you want to get my attention, just use @Grashariza again, and it will highlight it by doing the @Grashariza. It will highlight my name, and it will make it easier for me to see that you're asking a question directly of me. Can we have a Russell sticker? Who do I ask? Ask Racing Statistics to do it. So we're now about 5 minutes to green light. Basically, the F1 TV intro is just starting right now. It's interesting, they still have Ricardo in the intro, and they haven't replaced him with Lawson, which is interesting. Usually I would have expected that Lawson would be in the intro. So again, one of the things that's going on is that Lawson is in replacing Ricardo right now because Ricardo is injured. Ricardo replaced De Vries, and then our fourth driver is Yuki Tsunoda. So we are in a scenario where if something were to happen to Tsunoda or Lawson right now, AlphaTauri would have to bring back De Vries to drive. Otherwise, they would not be able to have their second car on the grid. It's just, and that's why this is coming up is because basically it's in the FIA rules about teams where they're allowed only to have 4 drivers during the season. So we've hit our 4th driver in the season at this point. So this is, again, talking about worst case scenario for the AlphaTauri team if something were to happen again. So we're going over the track right now. The tires we've got is the C5, C4, C3. These are the softest compounds out there. RS just gave 5 memberships to the. So this is the membership again. Meow. Oh wow, Meow, you got a membership, my friend. That's awesome. Koi, Lewis Cipher, Jemias, and Roger Rocher were all gifted memberships by RS. Give RS a big applause for donating those memberships to people. Enjoy having new access to those emotes, particularly you, Meow. I've seen you around several times. So we're only about 2 minutes or so away before to we get to a green light. Again a few minutes away. Right now, just trying to think. One of the things going again, another storyline going into this is basically there are records that to be had for Red Bull and Max this weekend. So if either Max or Checo win this weekend, Red Bull will be able to outright claim that they have the longest winning streak of a constructor. Right now, there's a couple other, and there's a couple historical oddities that are in play with the current record, which Red Bull is tied right now. So if they win this weekend, they move forward where those historical oddities just become trivia and no longer a question of debate. They become moot point because they don't matter. They won't matter as much. They'll be an historical oddity. They'll be interesting. Um, I know that there was a constructor that has many wins, but it's over multiple seasons, and we also have to take into account that the Indianapolis 500 at the time was part of the championship, but it's not considered a Grand Prix race. So it's like I said, there's oddities. We know that Max has tied Vettel's the number 9 with Vettel. There is another driver who has 9 in a row, but it's over multiple seasons as well. And there's some oddities about whether, I think the Indianapolis 500 comes into play there as well. So if Max wins this weekend, it basically, he gets that record outright, and Red Bull gets the record outright. So it clears up what is exactly is the what is the record. Someone asked, will we see a red flag? I'm the bringer of chaos, apparently. We can. It is likely that we may see a red flag. Basically, if anyone stops on track, if things that would normally have been a yellow flag scenario, why is Albon isn't in the car? Is he standing outside of his car? Hippo is it? Yeah. Was he standing outside of his car as opposed to being in the car itself? So we got Bottas, Stroll, Hulkenberg coming out to start. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, Albon's supposed to be driving in this. He's not being replaced for any particular reason, so he may be out of his car for a particular reason. So we are green light. Cars are on track. Norris, Sargent, Zoe, Gasly, Ocon are on track. So is Perez. So the tire allegation is they've got 3 hards, 4 mediums, 4 softs, but one of those tires are designated for use in qualification. So we've got the alternate qualifying system this weekend where basically they have to use a hard in Q1, a medium in Q2, and Q3 is a soft. Does birthday boy science? Yesterday was his birth. So those are what Dodgers mentioning is yesterday was Science birthday. So I'm going to wait before I start calling out places and numbers because we're just getting first laps around. We're not on any flying laps as of yet, and that won't start to populate properly for another few minutes. Roy Bryce just made back with his food. You've just arrived in the best time possible. Things are just kicking off. So Like Piastri just walked in the back. Oscar's not on the car, but why is a better question. Must be something that he's getting ready, something they're preparing for. Lando is on track though, so at least one of the cars is ready to go at this point. Oh, this is not qualification. This is just a practice, but Bottas just happens to be the first one out. Stroll is the first one to set a lap. 125 is not particularly a great time. And so was Hulkenberg's 126. So again, these are really early times. I mean, we were seeing 121s, 122s. So it's still early. Yeah, but when you say that it seems like they're stabilized, they are very much, because one of the things that's going on is they have only 11 tires as opposed to 13 tires normally this weekend. Morning, Alex. Morning to everyone else who's in chat right now. Again, we're about 5 minutes into the session, and you are listening to the Racing Tickets YouTube channel. Again, this is Gresh with you for commentary this morning. Again, it's 5:34 a.m. here in Central Time, USA. I'm in Texas. I'm a few hours north of Austin, where Coda is. We're missing Jose, who is south of me, the equal amount of time south of Coda in Texas. I know there was one other person. There's a couple other people who are regular in chat who are from Texas as well. Ironically, the Tifosi are out in style today. Yeah, where people are starting to say where they're from. Lena says that they're from Switzerland. Nisa Carlton is from Oklahoma. I'm like 45 minutes from the Oklahoma border, so you're not that far away from me. Yeah, if you could like drop in chat where you're from, I'm willing to call it out. Jojo ID is from France. Yeah, he's from Netherlands. Roddy's asking if I like NASCAR. I do watch NASCAR on a time to time basis. Um, you got to understand that like I have watched motorsports before, but F1 is where I learned motorsports. And from F1, I've now basically gone off and I better understand IndyCar. And I watch NASCAR on a semi-regular basis now, because it's just another motorsports. So we've got several other people going on. We've got uh, Amsterdam, Australia, Vietnam, Ontario, Canada, India, Sri Lanka, South Africa, Singapore again, Sweden, Ohio, Germany, Australia, UK, Oxford, Netherlands, India, Antwerp, Lithuania, Netherlands, Toronto, Canada, peyotes from Earth. We'd be concerned if you weren't from Earth, peyote. Chile, Netherlands, Perth, Western Australia, Brazil. John is in Dallas. You're just south of me. Go Dallas, I guess. Nigeria, Aruba, Syria, Netherlands, Republic of Georgia, Tulsa, India, Hong Kong, Ottawa, Ghana, Calgary, and Monaco. So we've got Norris actually putting in a good time right now, 122.515. Perez down on 122. So we've got 5 in the 122s. Leclerc is a 123.04. I'm looking. We got like P1 through P9 within 1 second. We still haven't gotten. Max is not on the board yet with a proper time, though he is. Looks like he's setting his up a proper first lap. So we got Norris, Perez, Sainz P1, P3, Hamilton P4, and Russell P5, Leclerc P6. though Verstappen is about to set a time. Albon and Piastri have not got out on track yet. Okay, if you guys want to use the Perez, number 11 Perez sticker, we just need to refresh the stream and you'll be able to use it. And if we can get another 23 more of you guys to join the channel, we can actually get some more stickers. The I think Max is not knowing what happened. It usually every so often is the map has issues everywhere every so often and it fixes itself. There we go. Verstappen just did is gone P1 with the time of 121.838. First one I think in the 121s actually. So Max out setting, and where is Max is on a soft tire, which is expected. Well, isn't that surprising? No, that's not surprising. It's just to be expected. And he's probably going to be. That's going to be maybe his fast. He might do another fast lap. He might get that time down to like 121.5 maybe. But he's probably going to be on that tire for most of the this morning. Does Friday updates or how is Science first? Basically, Manskin leader. Oh wow, that's cool. That the lead singer in the Ferrari garage. Manskin is actually, if you guys don't know, they were the Eurovision contest winner from last year. They are a hard rock group, and they're really good. Let's just put it this way: like they're a really good hard rock group. They're actually really big in the United States after they won Eurovision. So. Why did Science go number one earlier? I mean, he was out early, but also, for the most part, the Ferrari cars. I mean, this is their home track, so they know what works really good on this track, and their car right now is basically set up. They know how to set up their car for their home track. I mean, this is the Ferrari home track. So we've got Perez at P2 with a 121.192, Norris is P3, Sainz P4, Gasly P5. Again, we're in the 122s with these right now. Again, we're down to 122s with the P8. And again, we're about 1 second between, a little more than a second. The Ferraris and Alonso and the Ferraris are a little, actually, even Gasly, just over a second. But with a second and a tenth through to P8. Another 2/10 if we want to go to Leclerc. As begging Ferrari not to mess. That is so funny because that's one of their good songs. That's being played on the radio here in the United States. Is the begging, their cover of begging. If Red Force is forced to make new wings per new regulations in Singapore, Abigail, what is? I don't know what regulations you're talking about. Why would they need a new wing? What would have changed to force them to make a new wing? I haven't heard anything in that regards. Verstappen went outside the white lines. Why wasn't his time deleted? Because it's practice. Yeah, it's practice. They don't delete times during practice per se. They're told that they've gone out on the lines, but they don't delete times per se. Chris Holmes asking, well, will the Monza curse get Max this weekend? Yes, of course. Well, that's interesting. Frankie says he'll miss quality. He'll be back for the race. If you're leaving now, man, glad that you were here. And Brianna watching TV, welcome to the channel as a new joined member. What's wrong with Alfa Romeo? Why so bad lap time? It's almost what's not right with Alfa Romeo this weekend. They were having issues with I think their clutch and their gearbox yesterday in P1. And this is not a track that really that they're going to be good at anyways. I see some of you guys are checking your channel points. Basically, this is as you chat. As you chat during these sessions, there's also you get points for doing super chats. I wonder if buying a membership. Yeah, I don't know all of the rules, but basically by being active here in chat, you get points. And there at the end of the season, basically we do a top 20 in terms of points, and we do basically a simulated race. That it's a YouTube video that's put up for a simulated race. It's more bragging points of who's been here. It's a measure of who's once you get a certain amount of points, you can brag that you're a regular here for the most part. Fitbit has 420 points. Nice. Moving on from there. We've got Max updating his time with a 121.68. So yeah, like I said, I knew he was going to get that time down. He's about a tenth off from where I thought he might be. Science has the fastest first sector, but only green. He improved in his sector 2, sector 3s. So he's at a 122.4. Russell improved on his current times. He's at 122.6898, and he's in P6. Alonso improving in the first sector. Somewhat, he should have a better sector 2 time. So he's improving, but he's on a hard tire. Stroll looking like he's improving, though his first sector is not very good, and Hulkenberg same first sector not very good. Not an improvement. Not a great improvement for Stroll. Same thing. It's kind of more. Hulkenberg's done a little bit better, but not. I will see how that goes. So Alonso's going to slot in at P6 with 122.690. Let's see. Stroll's about to finish his lap, and he does not improve. See Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg doesn't improve well, so they stay at 14 and 15. Norris coming around, though he's not improved in his time whatsoever. Just looking right now, Piastri's finally out on the grid, so he's going to be green across the board because he's setting his times. Zoe improved in his first sector, though he's inconsistent in his second sector. Yeah, 30.1. That's not very good. It's like 3 seconds. Yeah, 3 seconds off. Yeah, he's like a second off of Max. Second, so he's several. He's not doing it great. It's not a great lap for Zoe. Oscar starting now, finally on his first flying lap. Sauber new name? It's going to be Sauber next year, as far as I can tell. Why is Lawson white? Because he's a replacement driver. That's why he's showing up as white, which is more of a gray than a white. Because Haas is in the true white color. Oscar is 4/10 off in sector one and 5/10 off in sector two. He's getting about he's plus 0.870 total to be precise. He's about to finish his lap, but he's going to be like a second off of. Yeah, he's going to slot in at P11 with a 123.108 on a soft tire. So right now, Norris, Alonso, Gasly, Tsunoda, Austin, Bottas, and Joe are the only ones on track. Though Bottas just came into the pits. Marco is asking when will Aston Martin replace Lance Stroll? Probably. I mean, he's gonna. We know that he's going to drive for Aston Martin next year. So the earliest could be 2025. No, they will eventually replace Stroll, Lance. It's just when does he want to leave? When does he want to leave the team? And he's still relatively young. So yeah, it's just a matter of when he wants to bow out, and he feels like he's done everything he can. Paul, welcome back. Our condolences to your friend. Just looking at what you guys are saying in chat right now. Just remember that Stroll missed FP1 because Drogovic, the reserve driver for Aston Martin, was in for Stroll to fill new driver requirements that for each of the team. So, again, nothing to read into why he was not an FP1 there. It's a team requirement. At some point, Alonso is not going to have to. It's not going to have to be an FP1. And a lot of drivers. There's still a lot. Like we've only had I think two teams put in have a session so far. So. Yes, Chill Gaming got it was last weekend. It was Schwartzman in for Sainz. People are saying that Ferrari is sandbagging. I don't think they're not sandbagging, guys. They are definitely not sandbagging, and they're trying to get best that they can out of these cars. But like Red Bull is just they're 1-2 right now because they're Red Bull. Hamilton is legitimately better than Sainz and Leclerc. I mean Norris right now is his car like it's interesting that Sainz is doing significantly better than Leclerc. Frankie, though, I don't think there's been any update in terms of the Andretti Ford. Yeah, the FIA has not said anything in regards to new teams as of yet. Andretti wanted to buy Sauber, and it almost went through, but one of the issues was Andretti wouldn't have control over what the drivers, and part of it is that they had already like re-signed Bottas to a contract. Andretti wanted to buy, asked other teams if they were willing to sell, and they were like, "No, we're not going to sell." No one was selling their teams, and the team that was being sold, they sold to someone else. So to tell Andretti at this point, like again, Marco basically said, well, Andretti should buy another team, and suggested that they should go buy Alpine, which is ludicrous because Alpine's not going to sell out. That's Renault's works team. They're not going to sell that. So the point of Andretti trying to buy their way into F1 came and gone. And so they turned to Andretti and told them, well, you need to bring something to the table. Well, they paired off with GM and the Cadillac brand. They did, basically they were told to do X, and Andretti did X. It is really hard for the F1 teams to basically like popo Andretti anymore when they've got GM on board with them. GM's never been in F1. Ford's coming back through Red Bull soon. The other big one, the Chrysler Group, which is the other big number 3. That's so in the United States, it's GM, Ford, and the Chrysler Group, and the Chrysler Group is part of a much bigger group now, and they're technically with, I think, Astra Romeo, I think is where they're part of the sponsorship. But to have GM legitimately on board with the Chrysler Group, that's crazy. That to tell me that you're not gonna bring in the GM Group as a engine manufacturer, you're nuts. And that's really where the F1 teams, they keep moving the goalposts on Andretti. They keep moving the post on them. And it basically there's no room to move that post anymore. There's no room to move those goalposts, and ultimately the decision. And here's the kicker on this: the decision to add teams to the grid does not come from Liberty Media, F1, or from the teams. It comes from the FIA. And that's how it was written in the Concord agreements. So if FIA says that Andretti's coming on the grid, they can't do anything about it. They legitimately cannot do anything about it. They complain and huff and puff all they want, but they can't do anything about it because that's how the agreements were written. It might be rebadged not from Honda. It might actually be. I think it might be rebadged from Renault. But it is what it is. It's GM on the grid, and GM is one of the top, one of the big 3 in the United States. How can you? Yeah, I mean, it's as a business proposition. How can you say no to that? again, if you're Toto Wolff and you're Mercedes, you don't want to see him on the grid. Oh. Yeah, Williams is in bad shape. Is that they do need to invest in a better factory, but can't do so because of cost regulations, and that's an issue with the cost regulations themselves. Yeah, I don't know what Williams can do at this point because they're stuck with the cost cap, but need to like seriously invest in facilities. And I'm surprised that facilities, um, they can't do that. Next question: can GM make a decent F1 car? It's not that if GM can make a decent F1 car; it's if Andretti can make a a good F1 car. And they're building facilities right now. They're investing dramatically into their F1 project right now to build facilities. They're going to build the entire car in the United States. Like let's put it in perspective. Haas and Williams are the other American teams. Haas owned by Gene Haas, but their main factory is in UK. Williams is UK by where they were developed, where they're by Sir William is from the UK, but they're now owned by an American organization. But Williams is British, it's a British organization owned by an American group. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Their main factory is in the UK, so Andretti is going to be unique in that their F1 factory will be in the United States. Will be in Indianapolis area because that's where they're going to be in the Indianapolis area because that's where their main headquarters are. And that's the state of Indiana, which is besides motorsports, it's corn country, basically. So Ken Stein brings up that Mario's won everything that he has driven, but we got to make it. But basically, there's a Andretti curse. After Mario, like no one else in the family has won like Michael Andretti, who's running the Andretti operations. He's a good driver, but he was never like he was always second best driver. He didn't win Indianapolis 500. I mean, he has won races, but he was never like the elite that his father Mario was. It's very weird, and it's something that's been going on with the family. We call as the we got it's basically we refer to as the Andretti curse here in the United States. Pupple Sand saying his GM comes will have lots of DNF due to mechanical failures. Not necessarily. I I I don't think that. I think they won't be as bad. I think you've seen worse mechanical failures with Ferrari. I think last year. Well, this guy is talking crack. Please tell me what I'm on crack. What exactly? Um, what you are objecting to? But crack, yeah, yeah, whatever, man. Well, looking back, so right now, again, So since I've been talking, Magnussen has jumped to P3, Hamilton P4, Sainz P5, Norris is P6, Piastri 7. Again, Red Bull is 1-2. That has not changed. and that 121.6 that has not changed since he said that about 5-10 minutes ago. We're about halfway through the session right now. This is Grash. This is the person who is apparently on crack. I'm in Texas. Crack is not legal. Neither is weed. Anyways, moving on. This is the YouTube racing. This is the Racing 62 YouTube channel, and you're listening to the live commentary for the Italian GP Free Practice 3. Again, if you haven't liked or subscribed, now's the time, the great time to do it. If you get the subscription bell going, you'll get notifications when we go live. We go live for every session, and includes weekends that include on a sprint weekend that would also include the sprint shootout and the sprint race itself, and of course the Grand Prix race on these weekends. We do have Albon. Oh yes, thank you for pointing that out, B11. Albon is fastest sector 1. What tire? Not showing me what tire he's on at the moment, but he is flying at the moment. Green sector 3, a good 27.7. I'm trying to think who's faster, but that's pretty fast. That's pretty fast. That's a good second sector. See how he comes in. He's got some subsectors. He's improving. It's 50-50, a little bit more. That improves in his third sector. It's going to be a 122.111. That's pretty good. That's very good. That is, again, still, it's going to split him and Perez by 0.4. So Albon, yeah, this is one of those things that the Williams car, this track with the long straights is definitely suited for that car. That's why we see Albon doing really well, and Sargent should be doing better. That's the problem. Is Albon is really pulling the best out of that car, and it shows Albon's talent. I mean, this is why he was promoted for Red Bull, because of that talent. Just looking through chat. What are you guys? People arguing about stuff at the moment? So super good. Why are sometimes white, orange, red, or blue? So white is basically previous data. Orange basically is basic, or a yellow basically. Those times basically are times that the driver has not improved. Red basically is significantly much less. So a green time is a time that's improved. A purple time shows up basically as the fastest of all the drivers in that sector or that lap. Jeff Bozo says that will Mr. the midfield be kicked out of Red Bull? No. Checo is on contract through next year, and yeah, pretty much he's going to be driving Red Bull next year. They're not going to make it. They're not making a change. Trying to think. Let's see. Perez, Max, and Hilder. Trying to see who's out on track. Okay, so Yuki Tsunoda is the first driver to have 3 different teammates in the same season since riding in Ferrari since 2009. I was wondering about that piece. Again. Yeah, but let me ask you a question right now. Who are you going to replace Checo with? That's the problem. That's the problem with Red Bull. This is the problem with removing Checo. Who are you going to replace him with? You can't say it's Ricardo. He's injured right now. Lawson's damn freaking new. Yuki's not capable. He's not. I mean, as good as Yuki is, he's not good enough to be in the Red Bull car. And they're not going to go out and they're going to bring in someone from outside because they did that with De Vries. They got burnt on that. And then all the other juniors, like Iwata, he's not ready to be. He's not ready to come up either. I mean, they're developing Lawson. This is great for Lawson, but he needs at least a year in AlphaTauri to develop for the main. So right now Red Bull, like, for better or for worse, they're stuck with Perez. But here's the other thing that we need to put in perspective. Why would you replace Checo anyways? He's second in the championship. And for all the hemming and hewing that we're talking about, yeah, has he underperformed? Yes. That's the issue here. Has he underperformed? Yes. But how much has he underperformed? Not significantly. Not enough to pull him from that car. You guys are like, oh, he's a craftsman, can't get on the walls, get up, but he's still number 2 in the championship. Why would you replace him? And then there's Red Bull doesn't want competition with Max. That's very true, but I've talked about this before. Max is the number 1 driver, and the number 2 driver is the wingman. And Checo fills that role. I know someone who's in here is Lewis Hamilton. Funny. Praise Hamilton with Mazepin. Yeah, funny. That guy can't come back to F1. Period. Perez is a crummy wingman at the moment. Now, that's a good argument. Is he a great wingman? He's not been the best wingman. All right. What we're looking in terms of, like, we want to go back. The best, if we want to look back at how this should work, we look at Hamilton and Bottas is a great example of number 1 driver, number 2 driver. CT's asking who's going to contract for quality. That's going to be Ryan. He's also going to do the race as well. Checo Farr is the only Max teammate who's won a race in the Max era. And that's like, why would you want to replace Checo? He's won races. He's capable of winning races. Is he in a slump right now because he's underperforming? Sure. But he's still second in the championship. He gets out there, and even if he has a bad qualification, on Sunday, he gets there and gets into the points. So right now on track, the only 2 drivers at the moment. Okay, so a black and white flag for Zoe for impeding. We'll see if they do any more than that. But the only 2 on the track, 3 is Norris, Piastri, and Hulkenberg, the only 3 on track. And you see Hulkenberg just came out. It was previously just the McLarens. It's interesting that Norris has been out there for 13 laps on hards. So don't expect his time to be improving anytime soon. We've got 17 and a half minutes left in this session. Again, you are listening to Racing Statistics YouTube channel, our live coverage of the Italian Grand Prix Free Practice 3 Watchalong. This is our live timing and commentary, and this is Grash doing your commentary for you right now, talking about what's going on track and your questions from chat as well. Pit will be interesting when the Porsche Audi team starts. Leaf on GTR is asking why Red Bull can't give a car that is capable of both Checo and Max driving style, because their driving styles are very different. They are different. I mean, they're just two different human beings. Jeff Bezos saying, "I can't wait for a Ferrari blunder this weekend with 3 clowns." RS is saying, "This will be the first time I see no red flags when you're doing commentary, lol." Where were you at Free Practice 1? Because I didn't have a red flag in that session. And if we don't get something in the next 15 minutes, that counter is going to go back to 0. Yeah, Max is, again, the problem is that they are tailoring the car to Max's liking and not to Checo's liking. And it's making it harder, and that's part of why Checo's having issues, is because the car is not suited to him in that particular way. What's a black and white flag? It's a sportsmanship type flag. Basically, another black and white type scenario is that you've gone off track multiple times. Is another reason to get a black and white flag. So it's a warning to stop doing what you're doing before they black flag you. Yeah, the question with Hamilton winning. So it's not. Hamilton is capable of winning another championship. The question is if Mercedes next year or in 2025, will they have a car that is capable of winning a championship? Will they bridge the gap to Red Bull and be faster than Red Bull? And that's a big question mark right now. Strong saying, "Is Yuki not good enough for the Red Bull seat?" Yeah, he's not good enough. I don't think he's good enough for the Red Bull seat. I just don't think. Yeah, please don't make up breaking news. Yeah, Toto Wolff is not driving for another team. Crying out loud. Yeah, I mean, like, he's not a bad driver, but he's not. I don't think he's good enough. Again, we're talking about that Red Bull seat. I don't think he's good enough to be in that Red Bull seat. Hamilton just got out there and did a 121.453. He's actually now 2/10, more than 2/10 faster than Verstappen, almost a quarter second faster than Verstappen. So that's a big change on the board. Anyone else doing a flying lap? And he did it on the soft as well. So that's something to see. Yeah, guys, stop putting making up stuff. Actually, I'm gonna. Yeah, there's no reason to say someone's dead when they're not. Cry out loud. Just trying. Unfortunately, I have to mod chat as I'm doing this live. Max is coming out on an outlap. Albin's coming out on an outlap. Magnussen on outlap. Wanzo on outlap, and Stroll on an outlap right now. Let's see where else. Who else is? So Zoe and Bottas are improving on their times. Joe actually has a subsector that's the fastest, though he's not doing well across the rest of that second sector. So see how that goes. Both of those guys are on hard tires. Alonso on a soft tire, improved in his first sector. So is Magnussen and Albon. So we got a lot of people on flying laps at the moment. Who's gonna? The Alfa Romeo guys are gonna be first to the line, and then Albon is gonna be the next one we're gonna look at. So Bottas is did a 122.58, slotting in 11th. Zoe's going to slot in at 16th, a 122.743. Albon coming to the end of his lap. He's going to improve his time. He's going to stay at P4, but he's going to go to a 122.054. And then Magnussen is on the flying lap, and Alonso. See how they're doing. Alonso's going to jump up to P4. Stroll's going to jump up to P7. Magnussen improved his time at P11. And so Alonso and Magnussen was in the 121s and Stroll in a 122. Max has the fastest, improved in his first sector, has the fastest sector 2 now. We'll see, he is improving in sector 3 so far. We'll see how fast Max can go. He's not improving so much in sector 3. It's a mixed bag. Though he's finishing off. He finished off sector 3 really strong in his faster sector 3. Did a 120. Wow, 120.998. First one in the 120s. Again, someone said a half a second, and there you go. There's the half a second. Yeah, I mean, seriously, like right now, I know a lot of people are fed up with Max and the winning that Red Bull has been doing, but like it is if you step back, it is amazing that they are winning and they're doing so damn well. They nailed these new regulations so hard. It is amazing. And we're in this is a special time. I'll be quite honest. This is, even if you don't like Red Bull, you got to step back and appreciate the dominance they have. Even if you don't like it, you have to appreciate and respect the dominance, because 3-5 years from now, 10 years, 5-7 years, several years from now, we will look back in awe over these accomplishments. Looking at Stroll, Sargent improved to P10 with a 122.38, and that was on a hard tire, no less. So Albon was on a hard tire as well. So Sainz out on a new fresh soft. So is Leclerc. So we're going to see Ferrari do their blaze of glories. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. We're gonna stop. Yeah, these arguments about cheating, that does not fly here. Sorry, that just there's a point where we have to say no. That's not what is going on. So Hulk improved his he's a P7 with a 122.1. Sainz fastest sector 1. That's just now taken away by Leclerc. So we're got dueling fastest sectors between Sainz and Leclerc right now. Sargent has improved in his second sector, though his first sector wasn't very good. We'll see how that improves. Sainz fastest sector 2. We'll see if Leclerc takes that from him when he finishes his sector. Because when the fine came out, it didn't the time when the fine came out, because the FIA took so damn long to get that to determine that they had breached cost cap and whatnot. The development time, Science is just up to P1 with a 120.912, so he's just under a tenth faster than Verstappen. Leclerc coming to the line, something went wrong in his second sector, so he's abandoned the lap. So we'll see him come around, recharge his battery, whatnot, and then go for it again, is most likely what's going to happen if he hasn't come to the pits for some reason. Let's see. No, he's still out. He's still out. So we'll see him try and come around and do another fast lap. So what happened with Red Bull? At the FIA took so long to sort out the regulations because it was the first time. Pretty much all the development for that particular 2021 and 2022 going and development for 2023 had already been done. So the penalty was applied to this year. So it basically, Red Bull last year was number one. So basically, I think P6, P7 gets 100%. At P1, you are at like I believe 70% of the development and wind tunnel time. It is then a 10% penalty. Then the 10% penalty for breaching the cost cap was then applied to that. So Red Bull has that this year. It's at 64%. And it's going to affect Red Bull through the rest of this year. Red Bull no longer has time to do any more upgrades for this year. And in fact, they're now shifting their focuses to next year car already because of cost cap, the regulations that they have to follow. We're under 5 minutes to go in this session right now. So when FIA came down with the penalty, this year car, for the beginning of this year, this was the bread had been baked already, to be put it bluntly. So. Just looking through, don't think Red Bull needs upgrading more. No, they do actually, because other teams are still bringing upgrades. And so it's a matter of it's the arms race type scenario. Like it's going to be interesting to see, with Red Bull not bringing any upgrades, how they're going to stand with other teams bringing upgrades. Like again, McLaren or Mercedes or even Aston Martin again, or Ferrari bringing an upgrade that could push them over what Red Bull is. So it's interesting to see. Max coming into the pits. What are they doing? Are they giving him new tires? No, they are. He's just coming into the pits. Yeah, they've lifted the car up. So Max is most likely coming in. If he gets sent out, it will be in like 2 minutes to basically do a practice start at most. So Leclerc has not been out-qualified teammate at this track in previous 5 appearances. That's interesting, because Sainz is outperforming him clearly right now. Hamilton, no, it's Leclerc who just jumped to P4 with a 121.486. So he's about a half second behind his teammate. Lawson's in P12 with a 122.2. Bottas moved to 16 with a 122.5. So if we look at from P1 through P7, we're about a second. P8, I should actually. Hockenberg just jumped to the P9 with a 122.985. So we're about a second from P1 to P8 right now. And then a little bit more for the first top 10, second and a quarter for the top 10. That's very, very close. Looking at anyone else right now who is on a flying lap, and no one right now seems to be on a flying lap. We're about a minute and a half left in this session. Again, this is the Racing Tickets YouTube channel, and you're listening to Crash with your live timing and commentary for the Italian Grand Prix Free Practice 3. Perez hasn't had a flying lap. Why is that, though? Perez is in the pits. So he's I don't think Verstappen's coming on an out lap. He's not going to do he's coming out so he can do a practice start. I would expect the same for Perez in a moment or so. Alonso on a last minute flying lap. Ooh, what's going on? So one of the AlphaTauri was avoiding one of the McLarens. Yeah, I don't think Perez is coming out. So we're coming to the end of the session now. Who's that? Verstappen, Hamilton, Russell, Albon, Sargent, Norris, Ocon, and Gasly are all doing out laps. So the only ones who are not out on track are going to be Perez and Piastri. Everyone else is now crossing the line. I think Alonso, no, he's already crossed the line. Sainz, black and white flag for Sainz for impeding. Let's see what that was. Showing a replay. So it looked like this is Lando. And yeah, Sainz. No, that was Oscar. That was Oscar's car, apparently. Yeah, so Sainz basically got in the way of Oscar going around one of the curbs. He should have been paying more attention. He kind of pulled in his way, and then kind of forced Oscar to the side over one of the curbs and off the track. Yeah, that was on. We're lucky that this is not. It's just it looks like it's just a black and white flag. So yeah, we're now we have come to the end of the session. Those who have not finished are on out laps at this point. These times are what they are now. Our number one today was in this free practice 3 is going to be Sainz with a 121. 120.912. Verstappen is less than a tenth behind him. Hamilton is P3 with just over half a second. Leclerc 0.574. Alonso 0.79 behind him. And that rounds out our top 5. Russell is P6. Magnussen Hulkenberg takes 7 and 8. Albon is 9. Perez 10th. Of note, Lawson is in 12th. Sargent was 15th. Those are our 2 rookies. Piastri, I should have mentioned Piastri as well, is in 14th. At the bottom, we've got Bottas, we've got Norris, we've got Ocon, Zhou, and Gasly. So we've got McLaren at 14. So we've got McLaren, we've got Alfa Romeo, and we've got Alpine at the bottom at this point. All right. Just gonna get times. 30, qualifying is at 9, so it's 2.5 hours. So again, basically right now there's going to be about 2.5 hours until quali begins. If you come back in about I would say about 90 minutes to 2 hours, we'll actually be live with music, and then about 10 to 15 minutes before quali, Ryan will jump on and begin doing his commentary for qualification today. He will also be doing basically commentary for the race tomorrow as well, and then so that leaves, my duties this weekend are pretty much done. I won't see you again until 2 weeks in Singapore, September 15th, I believe. Yep. So I won't be back for another 2 weeks when we come back to Singapore for. Just looking right now, any other last questions in chat, any whatnot? Can't see anything else. I will be in chat. You'll see me in chat. You'll see me in Discord. Also, just a point, personal moment. I've actually started streaming on Twitch again. Starfield has come out, and I am streaming my current run of my first run of Starfield. So don't have a set time just yet. That will be soon, but I'll probably drop into chat at some point when I go live. In Discord, I'll drop in chat into one of the channels that I've gone live for Starfield. My Twitch is basically Grashariza. Basically, I will drop the link actually into chat. And then as well, I'm going to drop the Discord channel as well. Thank everyone here, over the 2,000 people who were here at one point. Those of you who have subscribed, we got over 420 likes, 421 specifically. Want to thank everyone who's liked this. We will see you again. We'll be back in about 2 hours for qualification. And until then, stay safe, get something to eat, get something to drink, and we'll see you. Oh yeah, forgot one more thing. Hey, Race Statistics, reset the counter back to 0. We didn't get a red flag, so my counter goes back to 0. We'll try again with Singapore. All right, I will see you all when we come back to Singapore. Have a good weekend. I'll see you I will be around in chat for quality and for the race. So I'll see you guys in chat. All right. I am out.